Carl Jung's quote, "If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely," captures a profound psychological and existential truth about the human experience, particularly in the context of intellectual or spiritual depth. To unpack this statement, we can explore it through several lenses: psychological, social, philosophical, and practical. Below is a detailed explanation of the quote, its implications, and the underlying dynamics Jung likely intended to convey. The nature of knowledge and isolation. At its core, Jung's quote reflects the idea that deep knowledge, whether intellectual, emotional, or spiritual, sets an individual apart from others. When someone possesses insights, understanding, or awareness that surpasses the common perspective, they may struggle to connect with those who do not share the same depth of understanding. This creates a sense of loneliness, as meaningful connection often relies on shared experiences, values, or worldviews. Psychological perspective. Jung, a pioneering psychologist, emphasized the concept of individuation, the process of becoming a fully realized, unique self. This journey often involves delving into the unconscious, confronting inner truths, and gaining profound self-awareness. However, this depth of self-knowledge can alienate a person from others who are not engaged in similar introspection. For example, someone who has grappled with existential questions about life's meaning may find it difficult to relate to those focused on more surface-level concerns. Intellectual knowledge. On a more practical level, individuals with specialized expertise or advanced knowledge in a field, for example, scientists, philosophers, or scholars, may feel isolated because their insights are not easily understood or appreciated by the general population. This can lead to a sense of being out of step with others. Spiritual insight. Jung was deeply interested in spirituality and the collective unconscious. Those who achieve a higher level of spiritual awareness through meditation, mystical experiences, or philosophical inquiry may feel detached from societal norms or conventional beliefs, further contributing to loneliness. The social dynamics of knowledge. Humans are inherently social beings, and connection often depends on shared understanding. When someone's knowledge exceeds that of their peers, it can create a barrier to communication and belonging. Lack of shared language. Profound knowledge often comes with a specialized vocabulary or perspective that others may not grasp. For instance, a physicist discussing quantum mechanics with a layperson may struggle to convey complex ideas in relatable terms, leading to frustration or disconnection. Alienation through difference. People tend to gravitate toward those who share their worldview. Someone who knows more may challenge others' assumptions or beliefs, inadvertently creating discomfort or resentment. This dynamic can lead to social exclusion, either because the knowledgeable individual withdraws or because others distance themselves. The burden of responsibility. Greater knowledge often brings a heightened sense of responsibility or awareness of problems others may not see. For example, a climate scientist deeply aware of environmental crises may feel isolated in a society that downplays or ignores such issues. This burden can amplify feelings of loneliness, as the individual feels alone in their concerns. Philosophical implications. Jung's statement also touches on existential themes. Knowledge, particularly self-knowledge or awareness of life's deeper truths, can lead to a confrontation with the human condition, its impermanence, complexity, and ambiguity. This can be a lonely path because it requires facing realities that others may avoid. The price of wisdom. In many philosophical traditions, wisdom is seen as both a gift and a burden. The more one understands about the world or themselves, the more they may grapple with questions of meaning, morality, or suffering. This introspective journey can feel isolating, as it often requires solitude and introspection. The archetype of the outsider. Jung's work often explored archetypes, universal patterns of human experience. The person who knows more may embody the archetype of the sage, prophet, or visionary, figures who are revered but often misunderstood or ostracized during their lifetimes. Think of historical figures like Socrates, Galileo, or Nietzsche, whose ideas set them apart and led to social or personal isolation. Practical examples. To illustrate Jung's point, consider these scenarios. The intellectual. A scientist who has dedicated their life to a niche field, such as theoretical physics, may find few people with whom they can discuss their work in depth. Their expertise, while valuable, limits their ability to connect with others on a shared intellectual level. The visionary, an artist or thinker with radical ideas about society, may feel misunderstood if their peers are not ready to embrace their perspective. This was true for figures like Vincent van Gogh, whose groundbreaking art was largely unappreciated during his lifetime. The self-reflective individual, someone who has undergone deep personal growth perhaps through therapy or spiritual practice, may find it challenging to relate to friends or family who remain unaware of their own inner conflicts or motivations. Jung's broader philosophy. Jung's quote aligns with his broader psychological framework, particularly his emphasis on the tension between the individual and the collective. He believed that true growth often involves separating oneself from the herd to discover one's unique purpose. However, this separation can come at the cost of social connection, leading to loneliness. The collective unconscious. Jung posited that all humans share a collective unconscious, a reservoir of shared archetypes and experiences. Yet, those who consciously engage with this deeper layer of the psyche may feel disconnected from those who remain unaware of it. The shadow and loneliness. Jung's concept of the shadow, the repressed or hidden aspects of the self, also ties into this idea. Confronting one's shadow requires courage and self-awareness, but it can alienate a person from those who avoid such introspection, mitigating the loneliness of knowledge. While Jung's observation highlights a challenge, it also invites reflection on how to navigate this loneliness. Finding like-minded communities. Seeking out others who share similar knowledge or interests, whether through academic circles, spiritual groups, or online communities, can help alleviate isolation. Bridging the gap. Learning to communicate complex ideas in accessible ways can foster connection. For example, a scientist might use metaphors to explain their work to a broader audience. Embracing solitude. Jung himself valued solitude as a space for self-discovery. Loneliness, while painful, can also be a catalyst for creativity and growth. Balancing knowledge and connection. Recognizing that not all relationships need to revolve around deep intellectual or spiritual exchange can help maintain social bonds. Sometimes, shared hobbies or simple human connection can suffice. Cultural and historical context. Jung's insight resonates across time and cultures. In literature and mythology, the wise one is often depicted as a solitary figure. Think of Merlin in Arthurian legend or the hermit in tarot symbolism. These figures embody the trade-off between wisdom and connection, highlighting a universal human experience. In modern times, this dynamic is evident in the experiences of innovators, thinkers, and activists who challenge the status quo. Their knowledge or vision sets them apart, often leading to isolation until their ideas gain broader acceptance. Conclusion. Carl Jung's quote, "If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely," speaks to the bittersweet reality of pursuing knowledge, wisdom, or self-awareness. While these pursuits enrich the individual, they can also create a divide between the knower and the world around them. This loneliness is not merely a byproduct of knowledge but a reflection of the human condition, where growth often comes at the cost of connection. By understanding and embracing this dynamic, individuals can navigate the tension between their inner world and their need for community, finding ways to share their insights while fostering meaningful relationships. Jung's words remind us that the path to wisdom is both a solitary and universal journey, one that requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to embrace both the light and shadow of knowing.